we did like a little convo. People was like, "Who are you talking to?" It was like Chosen. It was like I had your little icon, but they didn't really connect the dots to it.
People never do. Wait, that's Chosen? Chosen's black?
So Chosen's your real brother? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You look nothing alike. And it's like, well, it's kind of how it is when you're black.
That's how genes work.
Right. All right, hold on. I'm going to actually pull up because a lot of people have been going in on Twitch. You know what I mean?
I can't even say Twitch. Like, I understand. Like,
I legit feel like this is punching down on Twitch. You know what I mean? All right. So now that we're live in here, I'm kind of set up. All right, so what we're talking about here today, because I was kind of moved by it, and Chosen said something on Twitter, then I said something back to Chosen, then Chosen said something back to me, and I was like, whoa, let's not waste this good content on Twitter. This is a great talking point. We could do a little chit chat on it and relay the information and the points that we're trying to get through better if we were talking versus,
going back and forth on Twitter with the Twitter fingers.
And then people were like, probably like, ooh, they're actually going there. One's like, no, we're just having a conversation. That's how we talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for those who don't know, so Twitch released today their whole COVID protocol, which is pretty much like, we're going to do whatever the state is doing, which kind of, in a sense, makes sense because like you're having this event in this state and this is how this state does it. So it's like, they're just following the rules of the state that they're doing the event in, which is what you should do. Pretty much you're the visiting team, right? And so people on Twitter land were in a bit of an uproar. One of those, well, I don't think Chosen was in an uproar, but Chosen had a interesting thing to say. Chosen, would you like to elaborate on what you said in regards?
Basically what came out was that TWITCHCON is not going to be enforcing a mask. It's not going to be requiring people to have a vaccination card or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And to my dismay, I'm like, if I wasn't already on the fence of going to TWITCHCON, which I was because of COVID, because of flares and stuff like that, I feel like this is a bad move from Twitch, ultimately, personally. Mm-hmm. Because
and my response to the on the fence, when Chosen said that, I was like, if you were on the fence, then you just shouldn't go. And the reason being, it's like, if you're that fearful, I don't think any amount of restrictions or things they could put in place will make you not be fearful, because they've done events where masks have been required, testing 3 days before the event has been required. All that stuff has been required. And then once again, either it's real or it's interactions, but some of your favorite content creators come back home positive. So it's like, what's the mask gonna do? What's like, if everyone at an event is vaccinated, boosterized, masked up, how you still get it? So it's like, there's that side, which, okay, maybe it's a lower number than what it would have been, right? But it's like, if you were on the fence, if you were scared, if you were nervous, you can't go to any events, no matter what's in place, unless everyone's in an individual bubble, covered in plastic, and we're all bubble boys, and you stick your little hands through the thing, and you can, touch your fans that way. But once again, that'd probably be a $10,000 ticket, because getting that many individual bubbles that are sterilized with your name on it, because no one else can use it, it's gonna be a little expensive.
I don't even think that I want to state that there is no ultimate fix of anything. It's not to stop it completely. Mm-hmm. It's to add at least a little bit more buffer to it. And they have in their announcement about the whole thing, and it's basically just a copy paste from TwitchCon Amsterdam. Yeah. Of, we would encourage you to wear it, but you don't have to. That's the part where I feel like things get because if we don't have anything, that's my problem. That's where I feel like a lot of people are they're just like, we're just not going to do anything, because I understand that in a lot of places in Texas, even here, they state like, you don't have to wear a mask. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. A lot of employees wear masks because they also don't want to catch anything from people coming in, because things like that, like this pandemic that we are still in has not ended, is still going. And I feel like after the results of TwitchCon Amsterdam, where tons of people, some of the people I follow even, have gotten COVID, received positive tests from it, from the lack of what is it? From the lack of like
layers of
requirements.
Protection.
Yeah. Like it shows if you don't wear a mask, it's not to protect just you. It's to protect everyone else. Because there are people who are asymptomatic. Yes, you can still catch it. There's nothing stopping you from catching it, but having those precautions and having those things to try and make it harder for it to spread, because when it spreads that's when it mutates, because obviously everybody's body is different.
Right.
But if you have person A, person B, person C all have COVID and they spread it to somebody else, and they spread it to somebody else, that's how we get ourselves into another lockdown. I'm not saying
isn't giving you the option and not requiring it protecting you? Like, if
giving you the option, yeah, because you have the
mask, but not everyone has to wear a mask. Aren't you then protected by having your mask on? Or is it this? I already know I'm gonna half-ass with my mask on, so I need everybody to be masked up. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna fuck around. There's gonna be a Starbucks vendor over there. I'm gonna want me a little caramel frap. You know what I'm saying? I can't drink the caramel frap with the mask on. It's got whipped cream on it. I'm gonna get whipped cream on my mask. It's gonna be all sticky. Gonna look like a little cum stain. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to take the mask off. And guess what? Now I'm vulnerable. So I need everybody to be masked off. So mask up so I can get my caramel latte with my whipped cream on. I can lick it and enjoy it, and then I put my mask back on after I have my moment. Eat me some fries, maybe have a couple onion rings. Maybe kiss a couple babies. Then I put my mask back on, and now I'm safe again.
Why are you kissing babies?
You say it's TwitchCon. I don't know what can happen.
No,
I don't know who's gonna bring that baby. You know what I'm saying?
Not the
So I need everybody masked up all the time so I can enjoy my caramel frap and kiss my babies. Then I put my mask back on. And then the next person can enjoy their, mocha frap and lick a dog or something, or kiss a dog, then they put their mask on, then the next person, and then we had like a little rotation, right? And we all good. But if we didn't have no rotation, that's what I'm saying. Like, could that be it? Like, I already know I'm gonna have a moment where I'm gonna take my mask off. So I need everybody else to have theirs on, so I'm still protected. And then when I put mine back on, the next number, let's say I'm number 12, number 13 can now take their mask off for their allotted time, 47 seconds and a half. You see what I'm saying? And then like we just rotate out there. You get a ticket, it has your number on it. And like calling number 46, it's time to take your mask off because everybody else is masked up. So now you protected and everybody protected.
Oh,
like maybe that's it. Like maybe that's like,
Oh my God.
Because that to me makes more sense than saying like, well, if everybody had a mask requirement, we all protected. Technically, if the mask is protect you, all you need to do is wear your mask and you good. But once again, you're going to have that little moment.
That mask 47 seconds sharp. The minute that 40 seconds is up, that mask better be back up and back on your face.
Somebody going to tell a funny joke. You're going to breathe a little too hard. The mask going to go in your mouth. You're going to get them little particles. You're going to need to cough. You can't cough with the mask on. You got to let that out. So you need everybody else to be masked up to let your quick cough out in your arm, of course, right here in that cusp. Don't cough in your hand and go out here shaking hands and stuff, downward motion. You see, you got to go down on that cough and then you can pop it on real quick. Can't let nothing happen. And then everybody protected again. I'm just saying, like, that to me makes sense, right? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Not
like,
what everybody got to have a mask. Now, that's not what the masks are for.
What do you mean? It's to protect you, right?
No, it's to protect other people. The point of it being is not just like if you're in an area, if you're in an enclosed area, it's for the breathing particles and stuff like that. Like if you and me are having a conversation, right? Unknowingly, whether we want it to or not, there's always spit coming off of our face. I be
spitting.
My
wife don't even move no more when she gets spit on.
This man be spitting without spitting, bro.
When I accidentally spit on my wife, she just sits there. She's like, keep going. Don't even worry about it. She used to it. 15 years of that. Right.
Rilla sits there, chunk of food come out his mouth, hit his wife in the face.
Like the first 3 years she used to move, and now it's just kind of like, all right, just go.
So talking to Rilla is a splash zone.
Right.
But because of your there's just general talking, and it's because TwitchCon, it's a lot of people. Everybody's standing in the middle of everywhere just talking to each other, right? And obviously, people are going to complain it's hard to hear people with a mask. It's TwitchCon. You can't hear anything to begin with.
Right.
But the sheer fact of everybody's talking to everybody, whether you want it to or not, there's going to be spit coming out of people's mouths. Always. It's not just touching surfaces. Most of this stuff is transmitted from saliva. It's transmitted from secretion from the body, as fucking gross as that sounds. But like, that's what it's coming from. Like, it's mostly coming from your mouth. The point of the mask is to stop it. If you are coughing, yeah, you could cough into your arm, but as long as nobody either way, nobody can touch you now. Like, the mask is to stop the particles, and it's not even like cloth masks. Like, a lot of people think cloth masks, like those aesthetic ones, are good. Nah, you need the actual like what are they called? Not N95 masks. I think those are good. But
so you saying my Teespring Rilla mask, I can't wear the TwitchCon so people know who I am, and I can't market those out. I can't have like in a backpack and I be selling them for all the people who can't get in. Are you telling me those don't work? So I was like, yo, you killing my pockets,
Rilla, they don't work. I'm sorry to tell you this, unless you want to wear two
attached to. Like, I got all that stuff covered for you.
Just wear two. You'll be fine.
Right.
Just double the protection, double the advertisement. There you go.
Gorilla on one and Fent on the other. There it is, gorillaphent, and you just wear two.
Yeah.
I got you. All right,
just
cool.
Fold it up.
We back in there. We back in there.
There's a solution to everything.
See, and then when you get your caramel latte, you kind of split it right here, so you kind of semi-protect it. You slide the straw in, and you just keep it trucking. Oh, okay, I got you.
There you go. We got a fix for you. There you go.
But like, so on the serious note, but this is my counter to it, right? So you sitting here yelling at Twitch for wanting to hold a space, an event that content creators been crying about, cats who've been stuck in the house talking about they depressed, they lonely, they miss this person, they miss that person. So you're going to have this event. So you yelling at Twitch because they not putting all these things in places, right? But then you're going to go to a restaurant in the same city that's not going to have this stuff in place. You're going to go to a bar in this same city that's not going to have this stuff in the place. So
a lot of places are laxing their COVID restrictions. The thing about TwitchCon,
so why are we so hard on Twitch, but you're not hard on California?
Because Twitch and people are hard on California. Californians are hard on California. The sheer fact of the matter is that Twitch is always saying, hold us accountable and stuff like that, right? And obviously that goes to a certain extent in every business. But you have the means, and you have what has literally, again, TwitchCon Amsterdam. They had the no mask mandate. They saw what happened. How many COVID cases came from just TwitchCon Amsterdam? And then people coming, because a lot of people from the US went to TwitchCon Amsterdam, coming back to the US and again spreading that stuff.
So you're saying people saw there was no mask restriction and they chose to then go to a place where they could get COVID, got COVID, and came back mad? That's crazy.
No, again, it's not that. It's not the sheer fact of
we should and got burnt, and now they mad at the stove.
So why don't we learn from the stove? Why don't we learn from everybody else?
That's what I'm saying.
If you saw people put their hand on the stove, you gonna touch the stove?
No, I'm gonna get an oven.
You gonna take precautions to not touch the stove, right? Turn the stove off. Something simple, right?
Yeah.
Masks are not hard. Having people have to wear a mask, at least indoors. Even if outdoors you want to have your mask off, if they don't have any regulations outside, fine. But inside, when it's all a confined space and everyone's in there should be a requirement there. Because again, this is not a San Diego thing. This is Twitch caring about the people going to TwitchCon. You can follow whatever state, as legally, yes, and there's no legal requirement, but you also have say over your event. And if you're not going to use your power to want to spread like actual positive, like having people not get sick, that is the problem. So, it's wild to me that we have that COVID is still going on. You want to have TwitchCon, cool. Everybody's fine with that. That's fine. I'm triple vaccinated. I wear my mask everywhere I go, even in Texas where I don't have to wear a mask. And again, there's the argument of then you just wear a mask. It's not just me. It's not just me. It's all of the other people. No, again, it's not a matter of being just protected.
Are you saying my mask doesn't stop stuff from coming in?
It does, but what about stuff getting out?
Mask, I'm good.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Because what if you get sick, Rilla?
Well, I got a mask on, Chosen. I'm triple vaccinated.
But you just said I have a mask on. You don't have a mask on.
No, that's what I'm saying. If I have a mask on, if I choose to mask, it don't matter.
You can still spread it to other people, though. Whether they have a mask on or not, because you're not keeping your spit in, that's the point of all of us wearing a mask.
If I'm quadruple vaccinated and I have a mask on, I can still spread it, Chosen?
The vaccine is like not meant. The vaccine, no, it's not a matter of inevitable or not inevitable. The vaccine is not to make you immune to anything.
So even if everybody masked up, you can still get it?
Yes, you can still get it if you do not practice safe. if you do not practice safeness, if you do not wash your hands, if you do not
if you come
care.
to TwitchCon, Chosen, I'm going to hug you. Is that safe?
Okay. No.
I'm still gonna do it.
No, you're not.
You gonna stop me?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Bro, if you're not wearing a mask, don't touch me.
Wow. It's like
that's brotherly love. Don't touch me, dog.
It's like, nah, bro.
We family, but I'm not dying for nothing.
And we still like, nah, bro.
I'm triple vaxxed up as well, but I'm still listen, bro. Listen.
I got the,
you have to show me the card.
I'm gonna
need you to show it. I'm gonna need you to flash to me like a cop, bro. Just real quick. You got that card? Nah, bro. Don't touch me, dog. Don't touch me, dog.
Rocky was here, dapped up, hugged up. Like, we done went to parties. We went to Halloween party with all strangers. No cars, no masks. We just out here. We good.
This man gonna walk up, Charles, I'll be like,
damn.
I'm gonna get the disinfectant spray.
And you gonna be 6 feet at all times? You gonna have like a tape measure out to make sure you 6 feet at all times?
I might have to now that you bring it up. I might have to. Because you making me real sus, bro. You trying to like, come here, bro. Just bring it in. Just bring it in.
Like, if you don't want to hug, it's like, cool, brother. Like, look, that's fine, right?
I'm bringing Lysol. I'm bringing wipes.
So
I'm bringing everything.
I'm saying, like, we all go out to dinner. You just gonna like take yours to go so you can eat it back in the room in a safe space, or you gonna eat it at the table?
I'm dipping. No, I'll sit down and eat.
Hold on, wait. It's a matter of you can't sit down and eat, Chosen. You're not gonna be 6 feet. You're not gonna be masked up, even though you triple vaxxed up.
I don't know if I can trust you now, Rilla. I don't know, man. You out here trying to breathe on people, bro. You trying to.
You can't pick and choose what you want to do. You know what I mean? You gotta pick. Like, you gonna be masked up, vaxxed up, no touch.
I'm gonna be maxed up, vaxxed up, and I'm gonna be eating my food 6 feet apart. Yep. Y'all sit over there. I'm gonna sit over here. And hey, yeah, can you pass me the? No, never mind. Don't even pass me the ketchup. I'm good. Crazy. Nah, you got it. I'm gonna bring my own
so
little
when
packet.
we get the waiter who don't have a mask on because it's his choice and he triple vaxxed up with his card on flash up.
All of employees wear them. Every employee that of every store that I have been to in Texas has been masked. Every single one.
I went to the doctor's office. One chick had on a mask, one chick didn't. They sitting side by side.
The nurse?
The doctor's office.
What the fuck? No, dude.
I'm at the doctor's office, bro.
I'm sorry. It's family friendly. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Doctor's office. The woman who took me in
not okay.
had no mask on.
That's not okay.
The woman beside her and the other woman on the other side, both masked up. The chick who collects your bill, no mask. Sitting in her office chilling.
This is gonna be a moment where, like, I'm like, really, could you pass me this real quick? He'll go, yeah, I got you, bro. He gonna lick his hand.
I'm not gonna lick my own hand. I know what my hands mean. How often I'm scratching my balls? Like, what are you talking about? I think I'm gonna lick my own hand? What type of savagery? Why do you think I hug people? Because I know where my hands have been.
So you want? So wait. I've been scratching my balls. I won't give you a handshake, but I'll embrace you.
Right.
What?
Right. My arms didn't touch my balls. My hands did. I hug like this. Like, when I come around, my wrist touch. So you safe. You know what I'm saying? Makes perfect sense, Chosen. Like, what do you mean? It's like if I have on the mask and you have on the mask, we both triple vaxxed up, we safe, right? Wink, wink.
Oh nudge, my nudge. God, that's so fucked.
But all right, serious though. Can we really point out like the kind of ludicrousness of like, there's not enough you can do. There's not enough layers to protection. It don't matter if the event space you're going to is cool. The hotel you're going to doesn't require the same things as the event space. The Uber you get in doesn't require the same stuff as the event space. The bar you go to doesn't require the same stuff as the event space. Going to the event as a whole puts you in jeopardy.
Everything will put you in jeopardy. But that's what I'm
saying. So there's not enough they can do. So why are people like shitting on them?
Because you should still take the initiative, even if you feel like there's nothing. Even if people are like, there's nothing that we can do. That's not how it is. The bare minimum is what we're asking for here. This is literally the bare minimum. Because then everything else,
because the bare minimum would actually be go to a place where all the things that to have an event are required. That would be the bare minimum. So it wouldn't even
a lot of people still feel like everyone should be wearing masks. Every time there's a lax in what's going on right now, like a lot of places are reducing the requirements of COVID because everybody's getting tired of the pandemic. That's not okay. That's not, just because you're tired of it doesn't mean it's going to go away. Doesn't mean it's going to make things better if everybody just catches it. That's not how this stuff works.
But
that's not
your
how
body can build up natural immunities to it once it's exposed, and through time you'll just. Hence why we don't die from a common cold anymore.
We don't die from a common cold because we have vaccinations and stuff like that.
Vaccinations
are.
We have vaccinations for a common cold.
We have stuff to help make things better. But I'm saying, this is something that we don't have anything for.
You can orange juice your way through a common cold where 100 years ago.
You can't orange juice your way through COVID.
I'm saying, no, what I'm saying, 100 years ago, if you got a common cold, you died. He's like, fuck, John got a cough, he dead. If you got diarrhea like 200 years ago, you just fucking dead. Like, oh, well, you got diarrhea, it's fucking over. But now you got cats who, like, my sister is a person who doesn't do medicine, right? Like, she doesn't do ibuprofen, stuff like that. So when she gets sick or whatever, she does a lot of herbal stuff and gets over it. That wasn't around like 200 years ago. You were just fucking dead.
Herbal stuff?
Well, the knowledge to use herbal stuff, in a sense. It's just like you would get sick and you would probably just die.
They've always had natural remedies for hundreds of years.
I'm saying like the accessibility and the ease to get it, right? You couldn't fucking go to Walmart and get some lavender mint to help with your constipation. Like back in, goddamn 1846. You know what I'm saying? Your ass constipated. Well, you probably gut's gonna blow up and you're just gonna die.
But isn't this the difference between viruses and other forms of illness, though? Is it not?
Yeah, it's a difference, of course.
COVID is not the flu. It's as much as people want it. You can't just power your way through COVID all the time. That's why people are literally dying from this stuff. But just because you caught it and it didn't kill you doesn't mean it can't kill anybody else.
Well, that's the
same
thing with the flu, though. The flu's the same way.
That's why we have flu vaccinations.
Yeah, but
to make things less effective. You can still get the flu. Yeah. It's like con crud or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, people still get flu shots. People still should wash their hands. People should still take safety precautions.
Mm-hmm.
Not requiring people to wear masks basically is Twitch being like, oh, it's all y'all. So good luck. And that's not right.
What's the difference between, in your opinion, COVID and the flu?
COVID is a lot heavier. It's not just something that we can just get and just, yes, there are people who survive from COVID. Yes, there are people who do catch it and are fine, but then there are the people who aren't.
Well,
if a person,
the same is said with the flu, though.
But we have a lot more deaths from COVID than we do the flu. COVID is a new strand of virus.
The flu's been around longer, though. So how can
the flu's been around longer, so we've had more time to study it. But just like the flu still killed tons of people.
The flu's death count has to be higher than COVID because the length has been around.
That's just based on fact. Yes,
yeah.
That's true. It's been around longer.
Right.
COVID has been around for a long time.
Yes,
but it's serious now.
Right. Well, I think it's always been serious. But my thing is like, so with all the knowledge and the tech and everything that we had in moving forward with these events, we've always known the flu is a killer. It's always been a killer. It's always killed people. But never was there wear a mask. Never was there.
That's because we didn't get to that point. We're now in 2020, 2022. We're now in 2020, 2022, where we can take these precautions to try and stop something before it gets to a point where it is now, where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
And people still didn't want to do that because they want to compare it to the flu. The herd mentality thing, is so dangerous because, again, the trial is everyone get it. If you die, you die. If you get it,
all right,
whatever.
Anyway, listen to this. In 2000, the flu killed 50 million people worldwide.
50 million people worldwide in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. 675.
Can you send me this link?
Oh, I just typed it in. It's the first day of it. It's like the history. Just type in how many people did the flu kill in 2000. The number of deaths estimated to be at least 50 million worldwide, with about 675,000 occurring in the U.S. Mortality was higher in the 5-year-olds, 20 to 40, 65 and older.
2009 flu pandemic was 10 times. Is that what you're reading?
No, I said 2000. I just typed in 2000.
I don't see anything for 2000. Hold up.
You don't see anything for 2000?
I see this 2001 influenza season. No.
Don't laugh at my search thing either. Don't you laugh at me. All right? Don't you laugh at it. Right?
Don't laugh at my search history.
No, it's not search history. That's just wild. Hold on. Fuck, how do I do this with Discord since I have Discord on display capture? All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, what I'm saying is with all the technology, all the stuff we've had, and all the millions of people the flu has killed over its entire length of existence, right? Why wasn't we wearing masks before? Like, wasn't like China or something wearing masks like long, like let's say 5 years ago? Wasn't everybody walking around masks and we were all like fucking laughing, thinking it was silly? Well, I mean, I was fucking laughing, thinking it was silly. Like walking around with a mask on, I thought it was kind of stupid. But like death from an airborne disease, in theory, isn't a new thing. So why didn't we put anything in place with it, knowing that it kills millions of people anyway? Because if that, let's say that report's right in the U.S., 675,000 people died from the flu. That's not a big enough number to require you to do something. Like say, hey, wear masks.
Was the flu not put under a what is it? Not crisis, a national crisis, national health crisis.
I've never had the flu, so I don't know.
You've never had the flu?
Never had a flu shot either. Never had flu, never had a flu shot.
That sounds so big.
Never had pneumonia. I had bronchitis once when I was little, almost died from it. And
I've had pneumonia 3 times.
Yeah, never had it. I know Toons had walking pneumonia for like 3 months. But yeah, I've never had flu, pneumonia, anything like that. I do get a cold. Like I get a cold like once or twice a year, or I'll get like a really bad sinus infection.
Let me look up the flu real quick because now I'm curious. As hell.
That's what I'm saying.
The difference between the flu is that there's a ton of flu strands.
Well, I'm just talking about the flu as, yeah. The reason I don't get a flu shot is because I've never had the flu, so I don't need whatever's in the flu in my body if my body's like good and not getting it anyway. I actually think my wife got the flu one year, or had like super flu-like symptoms, and she felt really, really bad, and I was fine.
Maybe I've never had the flu because I'm looking at some of these symptoms and I've never had a collection of these. But
Rocky's never had the flu either, and he doesn't get flu shots.
I don't
never wore a mask. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we look at like what's out there, right? A virus in the air that you can catch very easily, that spreads very easily, that kills people, isn't like breaking news. It's we've had these before, right? And even knowing these things are still rampant, and I think I had read one time like there's like over like 10 million cases of the flu reported a year. No one's like moved the dial, right? So it's like, why with this are we moving the dial? But like, I don't know, in 2019, we were complaining about people's body odor at Twitch and wanting them to like wash their ass when they come to the con. Right, because like once this starts, it's not going to stop, right? Like, so if every TWITCHCON or if every event is mask required, they're not going to take that away in 5 years, right? They're not going to all of a sudden say, "Hey, yeah, you don't need mask anymore," right? They're going to keep that in place, but it's like you didn't care about masks when the flu was killing people. Why do you care about masks here? I
think we're comparing 2 different things here. Okay. The flu, yes, could kill, but the time periods of like when the flu was on the uprise, there wasn't as many safety precautions put into place as there are now, especially with things like COVID, and especially with things like monkeypox.
Put in because of COVID. Like
yes,
like
because
COVID,
it like right now I'm looking at estimated flu disease by 2010, right? Symptomatic illnesses, there were estimated 21 million, right? For the flu. There were 10 million medical visits, 290,000, and this is all rough estimates. This is on the cdc.gov website. 290,000 hospitalizations and 37,000 deaths from 2010 to 2011, right? Let's go looking at the coronavirus disease. Hold on, let me see if I can find the initial, but overall, like worldwide, there have been 578 million cases and 6.4 million deaths.
Okay. Is it 578?
578 million cases.
And 6.4
million
10% of the people who have caught it have died.
That's the thing, though, and that's another thing that I'm like is an interesting way to look at it. Of like, it's only 10%. That's still a lot of people, and all it could have been prevented, or the number could have been brought down drastically.
Well, if you look at the world, you have to understand a lot of places where this was killing people don't have certain resources, right? They don't have certain things
in the United
place.
States. There were 91.4 million cases. Okay. And 1.3 million deaths.
So 91 million cases, 1.3. So that's...
How did we get to 91.4 million cases?
So of the deaths, that's what, like...
Again, percentages don't matter. Because again, because regardless of how many people died, 1.3 million people are dead because of COVID. That could have been prevented.
But like,
how did we get to a point where 91.4 million people, when COVID was announced, right before before the United States shut down, we knew about COVID.
Yeah,
we knew about COVID-19. How did we get to where we are now in 2022, where we still have the problem of thousands of people catching COVID?
Because you can't
and then spreading
people what to do. That's the whole catch-22 of democracy. You can't give people a choice, because there'll be some people who choose to do what you say or what you recommend, and there'll be some people who don't. Because you know what I think is going to happen at TwitchCon? The same thing that happened at first when we tried to open back up and tell people to have masks. We're
going to shoot up in cases again.
No, not that. There are going to be people who have an issue with it, and it's going to cause a scene. And there are going to be people who are going to be, oh, it's not that big. You know, the whole, like, someone recording someone as they yell at the security guard who's just trying to do his fucking job. He doesn't know what a Twitch is. He's just working the event space today. And here you go. He's like, oh, bro, you got to put your mask on. Fuck that. I ain't putting no, you can't make, you know, I'm vaccinated. And it's like this whole debacle is going to happen, because that is the catch-22 of democracy. Of, if I tell you have to do it, you can either choose to do it or not choose to do it. But if you don't choose to do it, then this happens, but you feel that's unfair. So now you cause a scene, and then all of a sudden you have people that's kind of in your camp versus people that are in this camp. And it's just like, if you just left it optional from the beginning, it would probably be better. Because if a mask and vaccination protects me, I shouldn't care what you're doing. If in fact what you're saying is true, right? If you say, if you wear a mask, you're protected. And if they wear a mask, they also protect you. You protect you. You're vaccinated. You got the boosters. You're as protected could be. So it doesn't matter what they do.
I don't understand why it is a big deal.
Choice.
But what is the choice here?
The choice is, do I want to do it or do I don't want to do it? That's choice. Choice is the big deal.
Oh,
if you take out choices, no big deal.
Wait. I'm not going to branch this off into other things, because if we're going to, everything's going to go off into choice, and we can talk about choice all day tomorrow.
We can go to the Matrix. I'm fine.
Wait, go into the Matrix.
Which one you want? Chuck?
You want to take the red pill or the blue pill? We'll keep it on the idea of COVID. I get that people want the choice, right? Cool. But when I don't believe it's the choice. I believe it's truthfully just selfishness in a way.
Of course.
And that's not okay.
It is okay.
Not entirely, no, because if you're being selfish, again, you're not just affecting you, you're affecting other people. The thing about, like, if you don't want to wear a mask, or if you don't like that you don't have to wear a mask and just stay home, it can be used on the other side too. If you don't like wearing a mask, which is not a hard thing to do, it's not. It's not.
But how does a business, because think of it as a business, right? How does a business accommodate both sides? If they give you
just
the
have
choice,
a mask requirement. If you don't
no, that's not accommodating. Because if given choice, the people who think you should wear a mask mandatory have a problem with giving choice. So if you make it mandatory,
I don't understand why.
Pause.
Okay, continue.
If I give you a choice, your own individual self to give a choice, the people who think it should be required have a problem. So I require it. Now the people who want choice have a problem. So as a business who likes to make money, how do I get both sides to give me their money? That is the problem Twitch is faced with. Hence why I feel either people are doing this for interaction farming. Once again, if you're on the fence, you shouldn't go, because even if all the shit was in place, that's proven not to protect you. That's not 100%. It's like, I don't want to have no babies. You probably should get fixed and never have sex, because a condom is only 99%. Getting fixed is only 99%. The only 100% way to not impregnate someone or to get pregnant is to not even partake in the act of sex at all. But that's too extreme, correct? That's like too extreme for someone to, oh, bro, I can't do it at all. It's like, well, if you don't want the consequences, you can't do it at all. It's like, well, that's a little too harsh. So it's like, for people who are on the fence, well, this is the reason why I'm not going now. You actually thought that shit works? Like, motherfuckers are still getting it now. There are nurses who wear masks every fucking day who don't even work in the COVID section of wings getting COVID. They not even on that wing. And they still getting it. They on the other side of the hospital with a mask on for a 12-hour shift getting COVID. And you actually
there's no way
you're gonna go to an event with let's be nice. Let's say 5,000 randos from across the fucking world who have on masks and who got vaccinated, and you're not gonna get something?
The thing about it is that you can't fight against business. That's the problem here. And because everything is business mentality, you can't fight. Even if you throw common human decency into the mix, it doesn't matter, because you can't fight that with business because of the way shit works. Just because it may not make you excess amount of money that you want, that's not a pass. That's not, I want to make money. Okay. Human decency though. And that's the thing. You can't fight human decency with companies. Like, this is just
human decency choice.
Human decency is respecting other people,
which is
taking the necessary actions to accommodate your fellow man.
Yeah, which is choice.
That's not. How is decency a choice? If I'm wearing a mask because I don't want you to get sick,
giving you a choice is common decency. I'm respecting your beliefs. I'm respecting your stance. I'm respecting your morals. I'm respecting everything by letting you choose what you do. I can suggest what I would like for you to do, but my suggestion might not line up with you morally, even though in my perspective, it's human decency. You get what I'm saying? Like,
but in that same light, people being upset at Twitch for not even trying is justified.
I don't think
they're not
trying. They are trying.
How?
Because they're like, if you don't feel comfortable wearing a mask because of whatever reason you choose to insert in the box, we understand that. We still want you to have the TwitchCon experience, so you don't have to wear a mask there. If you choose to wear a mask because you're really afraid of COVID, we understand that. You can wear a mask. It's not like they're saying, hey, people who want to wear a mask can't get in here. They're not saying that. Hey, people who don't want a mask, you can't get in here. They're not saying that. They're saying whatever you choose is right for your life and how you carry it through. We respect either side. We just want you to come to TwitchCon and have the TwitchCon experience. And to do that, we have to, in a sense, respect what you will die on the hill fighting for. Like, even when COVID was at its peak, you had motherfuckers out here dying on the hill of not wearing masks, right? Like, dying, I got asthma, I got this, I got that, I got breathing issues, blah, 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 blah. There are people who are going to die on that hill. So Twitch wants, but those same people are customers of Twitch who want to really come to TwitchCon, right? Who are glad that, hey, finally someone understands it. They're not super afraid of COVID. They want me to be there. They want to welcome me in there. And they also want to say, hey, and for all those who want to wear a mask, you're welcome too. I feel like that's a win-win. If you believe that being triple vaccinated, being masked up protects you. If you don't believe that, if you believe wherever you go, everyone else around you has to have a mask on, then you can't go to public events unless there is a mask requirement, which will be loosely enforced, because how do you make 6,000 to 5,000 people wear a mask the entire time they're in your event space where you will have food, where you will have drinks? How do you make them wear a mask the entire time? I don't think it's
you can't make people wear a mask.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like either it's engagement farming, which I'm cool with. You know, I love to farm me some engagements, baby. You know what I'm saying? Or Like, it's just like you setting this unrealistic standard that no company, no event, no nothing can match, but it's getting you a lot of likes on Twitter, or you feel like you're like, oh, you're hip, or you're this, that, and the other. When it's like, the reality of the situation is they're trying to respect everyone who wants to come to this, because everyone has a different stance on this issue. Like, I didn't give a fuck about
I don't believe having people wear a mask would affect their bottom line anyway, because we've got places that are way bigger than TwitchCon, realistically. Mm-hmm. Like in San Diego, they just had their San Diego Comic-Con, right? Mm-hmm. They enforced everything that I just talked about. Mask, vaccination, everything. Mm-hmm. And the number of people who got COVID from San Diego Comic-Con, mm-hmm. significantly, like, minuscule.
But they still got it, though.
Again, it's not a protection. It's not 100% like, do this, and you'll be fine. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying nobody's going to get COVID from these events. It lessens how many people could get it. It reduces the spread. That's my thing. It's reducing the spread.
Do we know how many
you can
people
take actions to try and reduce.
The Amsterdam joint?
Like statistic numbers? No, hold on. I don't think they've reported them all.
Right. Because, I mean, of course, like, it would be great to have those numbers to see. Like, is it, I mean, theoretically, obviously the number would be less if people were masked up and this, that, and other. In theory,
and that's just
if this shit is real, in theory, it should 100% be less. What about this? What if TwitchCon, okay, were to say, and maybe this is I mean, it's still leaning to one side more than another, but maybe there'll never be an exact 50-50. What if they were to say, you can attend, masks are optional, but you at least have to have a vaccination card? Would that be a better middle of the road than making a mask requirement?
If not having like all of them, I feel like the bare minimum having either, because the thing with the COVID test, even I'd stand by having a negative COVID test. Like, you get there, prove that you posted negative on a test. But I feel like stuff like that, or having
like 3 days before the event, though, which depending on where you are can be a bit. Because Toons went to a Apex event not too long ago, and he had to test exactly 3 days before the event, which, depending on where you are, can be a bit tricky, right? Because I know for here, for me to get a COVID test, the last time we had to try to get one, I think it was for my mother-in-law. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks before they had like an opening. So I don't know. Maybe it's less now or something like that. So you would be cool with not having a vaccination card, not having the mask mandate, but having a test, let's say 3 days before the event.
I would rather there be the requirement of at least the bare minimum of having a mask, of everybody having to wear a mask indoors. Because most of the food and drink, even prior COVID, were all outside. All of them were outside.
Right.
Indoors, I feel like there should be a requirement, because you can't regulate thousands of people. Obviously, there's always going to be people who have their mask pulled down below their nose, or pulled up for whatever reason above their nose. Don't know. Apparently that's the thing.
What?
I have no fucking clue. Apparently it's a fucking thing.
Are you cosplaying Sub-Zero or something? Why you got your mask way up there, cousin?
But having at least the mask, and if like taking the next step of maybe having the vaccination card, like proof that you were triple vaccinated. Cool.
What if I was
at least then
single vaccinated?
Huh?
What if I was only single vaccinated?
I mean, I think people who are single vaccinated they're not, since they're not fully protected, and because the reason why we have 3 is because the strain has mutated, and that's the point of having the other 2, because it's supposed to be the first one, the second one. Actually, no. It was the first one was half, and then the second one was the other half, and then the strain mutated, so we got a third.
That's the booster, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Chosen, we can't hug. I don't have a booster. I'm sorry.
Wait, back on this. I can't hug you. I'm sorry.
I just realized I don't have a booster.
Oh, man. I feel like, I don't know, man.
When it comes to the club thing, I've been denied from clubs, and it had nothing to do with dress code. It had to do with this. So it's kind of a little bit different, Rocky. I can't take this off. We can't take this to the car.
This don't go nowhere. No,
this is all here, all day, every day. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole other conversation, Rocky. On the next episode, we'll have Rocky up here at the top, and we can tell him about the clubbing experience when you walk around with this all day, every day.
It's a card you can't get rid of, my boy.
Right. You got the shoes,
once you got it, it's
got
there.
The pants, you got the button down there. Like, nah, we at capacity tonight, brother. But then they let the chicks behind you in. You see what I'm saying? That's totally different, Rocky. It's totally different.
I lost my whole train of thought.
Of Rilla Talks, we're going to talk to Rocky about the black dress code to get in the club.
Oh man, I lost my whole train of thought. But no, I feel like it's not a financial hit. It's because I feel like a lot of people would not be against wearing masks. I don't feel like people would be against having to show vaccination. I don't feel like people would be against having to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test. I don't think that people would. I don't think that would hurt Twitch bottom line, because it's not hard. It's not truthfully. If venues and other areas can do it and still have more, like, because again, there are events that have way more people than TwitchCon. Because again, you said, Bodyguard don't know what Twitch is. Bodyguard knows who fucking Rihanna, Jay-Z, all these motherfuckers are.
Right,
you know,
right. Even like when it comes to UFC, I saw like a fucking security dude try to grab one of the coaches. I'm like, do you know what the fuck you grabbing?
Yeah, like,
man, you better calm down and get this $17 an hour. You be grabbing on no damn UFC coach. You gonna get knocked out in there. But yeah, I get what you're saying there.
I can understand what you mean by, like, listen, if this stuff scares you, then don't go. I'm not against that. If that stuff does scare you, don't go. Like, yeah. I personally do not know if I'm going or not. If I do go, it'll probably be for a day. But I do plan on going to San Diego. And even in those, like, days that I'll be going to San Diego, I'll still be masked. I'll still be, like, if I can prefer to eat outside, I'll eat outside. I'll take those precautions. Carry hand sanitizer with me all the time. And again, you know, soft it's always going to be a matter of,
You got them soft ass hands.
Yeah, I do. I take care of my shit, Rilla. I take care of it. Hey, it's soft as hell. Anyway,
yeah, I got them soft hands, girl. You know what I'm saying? Moisturize, like sanitize and moisturize.
But I feel like it's goddamn.
It was getting too serious.
Oh man,
I'd lighten it up for a moment. I don't know. I'm cool with everything, but like getting the test 3 days ahead, just because I don't know. Less things have changed. Like, it's kind of tricky around here. Like I said, last time I looked was like in December of last year, so maybe it's easier now. But I wouldn't care
getting
about
like a COVID test.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a lot easier now. Since the problem with it last year was like I don't even think it was last year. Might have been, but like there was like not enough tests, I guess, and that was the problem. People had to schedule stuff like that. You like there are tests that you can take that are relatively quick. I'm not talking about like turnaround time, not the rapid tests. I'm talking about the, what are they called? OPD or something like that, where like you actually go somewhere to get tested and they actually fully like test and stuff like that.
Oh, so not CVS?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, because I know that they have like the rapid test that'll tell you in like 15-20 minutes. But those can be faulty antigen tests. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like the actual like test that you go somewhere, they take your swab, takes 24 hours. PCR test. Thank you. That's what it's called.
Okay.
The actual like PCR test. Yeah, I feel like the thing about like personally, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to go. That's just personal. To actual TwitchCon, because I'm not trying to get. Hey, but
But you got the mask on and you got the triple vax though. You safe. I won't hug you, I promise.
You lying. You gonna try to sneak me. You gonna try to sneak me. Nah, bro.
I won't even like dap you up. I'll just say not chosen. Like,
what's up, bro? It's just hey, what's up, bro?
Right.
How you feeling?
Like, no dapping, no nothing. When you take pictures with fans, I'll measure out the 6 feet between you. So like, let me step back. It's gonna be a wide shot. Let me step back.
All right, we good. Pull out the measuring tape, just fucking yeet.
But
again, like you said, at the end of the day, it is to each their own. I just feel like having people take that test is not a bad thing. I don't think it's too much to ask. That's just me though. I don't believe it's hard for people to wear a mask.
Because I mean, Twitch is gonna cave, because they always cave, kind of what they do. But I'm curious to see in what degree do they cave. You hear what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think they will.
Oh, they're gonna fucking cave. It's Twitch. I what has Twitch had backbone in regards to anything? Like, I can't answer.
When
has Twitch ever had a backbone? Like, I can't think of a thing that I can't think of a single hill that Twitch has died on. Like, where like the public had a different opinion than Twitch, and Twitch like, we don't give a fuck. This is what's happening. This is what we believe. This is how we rock it. I don't think Twitch has ever done that. Take it down. Okay, Jesus. Okay. Sorry, black people. We're taking it down. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. Won't be running any more of these.
I think that Twitch is gonna stay
with
DMCA?
This. Well, that's because DMCA costs them money because content
DMCA costs them money.
Like, that's not a stand, bitch. That's good business.
And remember, when the DMCA stuff went down, they were like, yeah, we're gonna work on it. Where have we gotten? They came out with a Twitch studio thing that was supposed to be music, and people were still getting smacked with DMCA. No, it does not. No,
I tried that shit. That shit didn't even work. I was like,
no
maybe
one
I'm
uses
doing
that.
it wrong. I don't know.
It was like, yeah, no, you can listen to everything in this category. All right, let me listen to this song. DMCA immediately. Like, no, that stuff doesn't work. Again,
okay. Rocky says their heels are ads in DMCA because that involves money. True. They have backbone for money. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to this, I feel they have. They're gonna
stick with like, oh, just like they did with Amsterdam. It's going to be that thing of like, we're sticking with what the state says. So this is what the state says. We're good. We've got clear conscience. Because again, it's a business.
California is a democratic state, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, you know.
We're not gonna get into that because I don't believe in Democrat or Republican. Nah. Fuck all that noise, bro. Either side, which went heads and tails. Either way, you're getting fucked. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You want the blunt end or the sharp end? Both ends is going where you don't want them to go. So you pick. All right. But yeah, okay. So I don't know. I was just looking at, like, I saw a couple Twitch ambassadors get in on it and the other like partner content creators. I'm like, not and once again, not like disrespecting their stance, but I'm like, if you're that scared, I don't feel like there's anything they can do to make you not scared. Like, if it's like a true, genuine concern, I don't think there's enough stuff they could put in place to give you the security that you would need to do it. I just don't.
I just feel like it's the bare minimum to ask for a mask. Like,
yeah,
that's like the bare minimum, the requirement of having a mask.
Yeah, I feel like the mask requirement is kind of
it's
like
super.
You said, the bare minimum.
It's super minimal, and again, it's only indoors. Like, that's
right.
it. It's even if it's just indoors. Outside's fine because outside is outside, right. Whatever. But indoors, when everybody's literally cramped into that space, like, yeah, you should at least have a mask. No, you can't sanitize everything. No, you can't, like, every single surface in the building all the time. Can you
imagine at TwitchCon, they got like a fucking team of affiliates walking around wiping down fucking tables.
As people are walking and touching shit.
And they're like, yo, if you wipe down the tables all day, you'll be a partner come Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even pay them. They just promise some partnership or some bullshit like that. Yo, Twitch, I got some free label for you out here in these streets. Yo, that's I just toxic, though.
Like, at the bare minimum of, like, this is what you can do. Again, there is no do this, no one gets COVID, because that's just not how shit works. Ooh. But having those bare minimums is not a bad thing, and I feel like at the end of the day, it benefits everybody. Twitch itself.
Hold on 1 second. We're gonna bring Rocky into the convo. Hold on.
Okay, I'm curious to see how Discord handles this.
Oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing there.
Just add him to the call.
How do I add him to the call?
Do you want me to do it, really?
Oh, no, add friend. No, that's add to DMs. All right.
Yeah, this is a DM. I think we just make a group call off that.
Okay. All right.
Add friends to DM. Yeah, and then he can just join. It's probably going to make a whole different group.
All right. Rocky, create group DM.
I knew it was going to happen. Oh, hey, they fixed it. Hold.
Is it working?
Your camera's loading for me?
Yeah, your camera's loading for me as well.
Oh shit, where was my shit there?
Hold on.
Okay, Chosen's camera was on, but now it's just
I turned it off because I had switched cameras. Hold on.
Turn on. Hey, it's working. There we go.
Hey, there he is.
Hey.
Where am I?
Here we are.
Oh, it's actually not like bad.
Where are you?
I hit share screen, not turn on camera. God, I feel like a boomer. Anyway.
There we go. All right.
Welcome.
Rocky, you're a little fuzzy for me. I don't know why.
It's a connect. It's a Twitch. Not fuck.
It's a Twitch thing.
It's a Discord thing.
Discord is Twitch's fault too.
It always comes back to Twitch.
It always comes back to Twitch. Full circle.
Fix Discord, Twitch. Fuck.
All right, Rocky.
What's up, Rocky?
You've heard
what's going on, guys?
Me and Chosen babbling on about this. Where are you at with it?
I mean, I'm a little here, a little there. I got a little bit of Rilla's point of view, and I also agree heavily with Chosen.
Of course, he's the short one.
What is it?
That's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying, like,
yes, that is.
You gotta get my height. What you trying?
I'm just saying,
Listen,
Rocky's
I did
short
not
too,
come
so-
here
This is not
to be
pity,
bullied
okay?
about my height. Okay, I didn't come here. I accept that I'm short. Okay, don't. Hey,
Listen,
he's just bullying at this point.
he calls me short, Chosen. I got a couple inches on you, so it's like,
Right.
Well, nothing pleases this man. It's not your fault. All right, he's just a grumpy old fuck. All right.
Oh wow.
What? I'm just being bullied by a bunch of boomers. God damn it! I don't like this.
So I see nothing wrong with having a mask requirement because, like the analogy that I gave you before, like if a business has a dress code, there's no problem with that. Like, oh, you can't come into the club wearing a fucking bathing suit and a Hawaiian t-shirt. Like, that's just the rules. You have to have
Kim
a button up.
Kardashian could.
That's different. That's different. They could buy that club.
They could buy the
if
club.
I could buy Twitch, I would buy Twitch.
You best believe if I'm
It
Bill
doesn't
Gates
make
and I gotta
money,
go-
Chosen. You don't want to buy that.
I don't
shit.
care.
I mean, it'd be a
Listen,
good
we need to
tax
fix
write-off.
something in here. All right, listen, they're
And I go to walk into TwitchCon, they got a mask requirement, and you got to wear a mask, Mr. Pitt. No, I don't. Okay, go ahead. Like that's just how the world works.
Let me rephrase. If I had the money to buy Twitch, I would do whatever the fuck I want to. Like, come on, let's be real here. That's the thing. Kim Kardashian could
counter argument.
Yeah.
could buy
It's not a
these.
counter argument.
Right.
So like having a mask requirement, I also know your demographic. I don't think the fact that the Twitch community is as outraged as it is tells me that most of them are just going to wear a mask anyways, whether they're required or not. So it's like, why not? So first of all, why the outrage? Second of all, why not just require it and prevent all this bullshit? But
Because it's like that one person who don't wear deodorant. Like we make jokes about it, but there's always that one.
I don't stink. I swear, guys. I
understand, but there's
my
always
pH
that
balance
one.
in my body is a little bit different. So like, I don't stink like you guys think. It's like,
you see the
bitch,
way that my molecular body,
Yeah.
the way
like,
my
I'm
body's
just
made
built
up.
different. Like you don't shut your stinking ass
No, I
up.
don't sweat. I don't sweat in California in the summertime. No,
There's always that one person who will show up in the conscious mind of like, oh no, I can't have COVID because there's that feeling of I can't get infected, and they could have it. That's the thing.
So here's the difference between now and 2 years ago, right? Like, and this is the argument that I'm probably more on Rilla's side with, is at this point, either you've gotten COVID or you've avoided COVID your whole fucking 2-3 years now at this point, which I have as well. I don't go outside that much, but I've been in some very at-risk situations and I'm vaccinated and I'll take precautions, but I don't always wear a mask. I wear a mask most of the time, but not in every situation, not in most social settings where it feels inappropriate, like at like a friend's wedding or something like that. Like if I'm in bridal party pictures, like, you know, it's like their moment. I don't want to be masked up. Like
Who's this fucker with the mask on, babe? I don't remember that
got
guy.
their wedding pictures for the rest of their life, and I got them like shit like that, you know. And at this point, it's been 2 years, and we had the chance. If everybody went and got vaccinated, everybody did their due diligence and just stamped out the virus when we could have. Great. But guess what? People resisted as people do. And now we're stuck with this virus and now it got politicized. So we will never have 100% of people or even 95% or whatever the minimum number we needed was to have a united front and stamp this thing out. So now we're going to be stuck with it forever. So now if it's an inevitability, I can no longer justify living my entire life around COVID. So the thing is, like, if you have at-risk people at home, like my mom, if she were to, she's very high risk. If she were to get COVID, it would probably kill her. So when I go out and about, I've gone to friends' weddings, I've traveled to Tampa, I've gone to the beach, I go around people, and when I'm in high-risk situations, I just don't hang out with my mom for like a week or two when I get home, and I go back to doing my normal homebody shit. And that's the responsibility that you can. That's the control you have over that situation. If you are super at risk yourself, you're not going to be going to a convention, whether they require a mask or not. And if you're not at risk yourself, then the way that I see it is be responsible for around other people when you get home and do your due diligence to protect yourself as best you can, but you can't protect yourself forever. So live your life. If you get it, you get it, but you got to just be responsible. And to Chosen's point about masks protecting other people and vaccines protecting yourself, the reason that if I wear a mask, when you're talking to me, Rilla, you're getting all excited, making argument.
Hey, what's up, Rocky?
Right,
Fucking piece of steak flies out of his mouth.
My eyeballs, all right? That's why your mask protects me, because you're not spitting in my fucking face unintentionally.
You can't get COVID in your eyes, Rocky, all right?
Oh my god.
Eye COVID is terrible, all right? Nobody
Eye
wants
COVID is
We're talking about mouth COVID, Rocky.
It's
All
not
right.
talked about enough. Eye COVID is destroying lives and tearing families apart, Rilla. Right? So that's why masks are helpful, because if you wear it, you protect me, which is why it was politicized, because you're trying to force people to give a shit about other people, which they're like, well, I only care about me. So, and they want to protect their right to not be inconvenienced when it could potentially save lives, which is just a argument you're never going to be able to win, because if somebody doesn't give a fuck about protecting other people, you're not going to convince them to.
Right.
And when it comes to vaccines, you were asking Chosen about the numbers, right? Like, well, if you're vaccinated and you're masked up, then you're fine. You're protected. You're not fully protected. Say it's
you're never fully protected.
You're never fully
unless
protected.
you're in a bubble rolling around at an event.
Condoms are only 99% effective.
Right.
You know,
that's what I'm saying. But that's why I said earlier, like when you can't go to that extreme of not participating in the act because you want to participate. But if you want to be 100%,
require people. No, you can't be 100%, but you can still be. I would take 90% odds over 30% odds any day of the week. Any gambling man can tell you that. Give me the 90%. Or
depends on my
30%.
comfort level, though.
What do you mean?
If I had to wear a fucking ball gag to go to TwitchCon, I don't think I would be comfortable with that in my mouth.
I probably wouldn't be wearing a ball gag to go to TwitchCon.
Where did the ball gag come in? What kind of sick fantasy you trying to portray to us?
Right? These are just the other conventions that Rilla partakes in. We don't need to know about the BDSM.
Look, guys, don't worry about the snuggle parties, all right? They're great. Don't even worry about it, all right? No snuggle parties at TwitchCon because masks aren't required.
Rhea's like, I'd love to roll on a bubble. Sounds fun.
Hamster balls, dude. I was in Tampa and we went down to the beach. It's like 97 degrees, 100% humidity. It's like not even enjoyable to have the ocean breeze. And they've got like a little amusement park thing at the beach and a giant fucking hamster ball with the sun just beaming into it. Like imagine going into an enclosed giant hamster ball in the middle of the summer in Florida heat.
Oh, you die. You die.
That's a fucking death trap.
You die.
Yeah. Either you're going to lose 100 pounds or you're going to stroke out. Which one comes first?
Or both. Either way, you're dead.
Yeah. So I'm good on that. But yeah, it's a math thing, Rilla. So it's like if say Chosen wearing the mask protects you 70% from him, but only protects him 5% from you. Then if you wear a mask, now you're both wearing masks, you're both 99% protected from each other. That's significantly better odds. Same thing with vaccines. I'm protecting myself, which means that I'm lower risk of carrying the virus. But now you could also carry the virus and I can still be carrying it even if I don't have severe symptoms because I'm vaccinated. That doesn't mean I can't spread it to somebody else who's also not vaccinated, right? Like
there's so many other things that like it can get to that people don't realize. It runs so deep where it's like, if I don't get it, you don't get it. But because you came back from San Diego, say someone you know gets it from you, or
spread it even if you don't get affected by it.
Or like say Rocky got it and then it was handed off to somebody else, but nobody like Rocky didn't know he had it because Rilla decided not to mask, and Rilla got it from somebody else.
By the way,
we could still mask and both still get it and not know that we had it because we're asymptomatic and feel
but it goes down significantly, especially if
it's just a matter of lessening risk. And that's why the argument with the flu and COVID are different in the sense that if you're sick, you're sneezing up a storm, you're throwing up today, cool, don't go into work if you have the flu. Like it's
motherfuckers still go to work with the flu. Yeah, motherfuckers go to work with a cold.
And they absolutely should not.
And you shouldn't.
No, what I'm saying.
You should not.
Working while sick is like the fucking American way. Like there's never.
And that's a huge problem.
That's a problem.
Like, I'm just saying,
I'm
like
fired.
Rilla tried to make me work. Rilla tried to make me work when I was sick. He was like, "Get your ass out of bed. Get on the goddamn computer."
You're sitting at a computer. Like
you're not getting
get the fucking work, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're out here in these fields, you know what I mean? You're at a computer.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying
is, get
like,
my microphone stick and it starts spitting ill shit. I'm not trying to spit ill shit in that way.
Well, I mean, you said you want to be a rapper. You got to spit some ill shit. You know what I'm saying?
While you're ill as shit.
But this is like
that's not the ill that I'm trying to spit right now. I'm kidding.
This is like my thought. Like, all right, so working sick. What I'm saying is like. What was I saying? Shows like there's been tons of shit that would kill us, and we put nothing in place to like protect us. So why all of a sudden the entire generational hundreds of thousands of years or whatever of working through sick, doing this, not wearing masks.
You're in a fraternity, right? That's like you're in a fraternity and you're like, well, I got hazed and I hated it. So I'm gonna haze the shit out of the next motherfucker to try and enter this fraternity. Oh, they're getting to hell. Just because we did the incorrect things in the past doesn't mean we need to keep doing them forward. That's
but how do we know if this is correct?
It's like the fault because we knew what we have the information of what didn't work, so we should change that and change it for the beginning. It's like when you fall and scrape your knee. It's like when you fall and scrape your knee and it's like, oh, rub dirt in it. Obviously, that's not a smart idea, and we know that's not a smart idea now.
Then we make knee pads, and people are like, some people are like, wow, I'll protect my knees because I don't want to get hurt. And then other people are like, you're a fucking pussy if you wear knee pads. You know, that's
okay. Hold on, wait.
Listen to this.
What are you doing?
Okay.
I don't want to look like a pussy.
think of I'll take wrestling for example. So when wrestling, you're on a mat. If you've ever been on a wrestling mat, you know how it feels. You'll get something called it'll be friction burn. You'll get it on your knees. You'll get it on your elbows. So one way to avoid it is to put on knee pads. The only issue is knee pads absorb sweat. They get slippery. They fall down. People, once you get to a higher level, will start using those knee pads as ways to hold on to you if the ref can't see it. So then it becomes a hindrance. Or you suck it up, get through the friction burn, build up a callus to where it no longer affects you.
If friction burn killed you, it would be a different story. Everybody would be wearing knee pads.
I've never had the flu. I've never gotten a flu shot. The flu could kill me.
I've never had the flu.
The flu could kill me. There's 100%.
My mom confirmed for me. I've never had the flu.
Yeah, I could, but that's not. There's something out there that could kill me, right? But I'm not.
It's very likely to not kill you. It's less likely, significantly less likely than COVID. And also, when you're done with the flu, there's no long-lasting effects. Some people are losing their sense of smell permanently. People are having trouble breathing. Irreparable damage to your.
You can still have breathing issues after getting the flu. Same thing with pneumonia. It can cause scarring in your lungs.
Pneumonia can
breathing issues for the rest of your life.
Pneumonia.
The flu's way different from pneumonia in that sense.
The flu doesn't live in your lungs the way that pneumonia is. Pneumonia is literally like fluid buildup in your lungs. The flu's not.
Okay.
Because the flu, you can just be sneezing, coughing, or you can just be throwing up profusely. Like it has a bunch of different symptoms. But COVID also causes neurological issues. It can cause issues with your fucking brain. So it's a significantly more harmful disease. And the difference is, if you have the flu, you know you have the flu. You're not sick for a week without any symptoms, and then you get really sick. COVID, you could be walking around with it for 10 days, spreading it to a fuck ton of people, and you're like, oh man, I don't really feel good. And you've been in contact with people for 2 weeks.
Well, after 10 days, it goes away though. That's the gestational period.
That's on
some
surfaces.
Oh,
it's on surfaces,
not in people. And people,
why if you get if you test positive, they say avoid someone for like 2 weeks. And then you're good.
That's because they reduced it because they wanted people to get back to work. They reduced how long quarantine was because they wanted people to get back to work.
Well, because the world can't function if no one goes to work, Chosen.
It is that is true.
But like, at the same motherfuckers have to work.
And a lot of the places that like people they can't.
Your food doesn't get delivered. Groceries don't get picked up out of the truck if no one's out there to pick. You can't get your apples if no one's picking your apples.
And this is the difference between an existential view versus an individual view. Life has to go on, and people are inevitably going to die, whether it's to disease, to accident, to whatever else. Life has to go on. So it's a matter of, are you caring about individuals on the individual level? Because if you look at an individual level, you should care about every person's health and their life and protect their life. But then when you look at a global scale, we still need the labor industry. We still need people to go to work and provide the resources that we need to stay alive and exist. Otherwise, more people will die for other reasons, right? Like medical facilities, you still need nurses to go to work because people are going to be getting injured or sick or having heart attacks or whatever else. More people are going to die to non-COVID related things if we don't have people going into work.
I found a problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Capitalism.
Capitalism is an issue.
Capitalism. That's the problem here. Because truthfully, and all jokes aside, a lot of the reason why people had to go back to work is for things that were not a necessity at all, like retail. Like, truthfully, if a lot of things could be online if we really wanted them to be, which is why places like DoorDash, Uber Eats, everything like that, talking about food being delivered. Yeah, you delivered the food to the door. You don't have to make contact with people. Yes, there are the jobs of labor workers and stuff like that.
Do you know how many restaurants closed because of DoorDash? Because they made way more money off of people walking in than they did off of DoorDash. Because imagine if you get a bad dish, let's say you order Hush Puppies and it's 45 minutes away. So it's been sitting in a container for 45 minutes before it gets to you. Do you think those hush puppies are still going to be good? Or they're going to be a little soggy, might be a little cold? Is that the restaurant's fault or DoorDash's fault? And if you're the consumer, you're not going to blame DoorDash. You're going to blame the restaurant. Like, oh, look at this bullshit. See, this is why I'll be ordering from that fucking place. But if you were to drive there, because it's only
from a personal standpoint, I could get that, but
it's only a 15-minute
drive
for you. You would go to that place all the time because those hush puppies would be fucking amazing. So not all food can be DoorDash good to get repeating customers. Where if you went to the restaurant and ate in,
the trade-off for convenience of not having to leave your house.
Yeah, like you understand when you DoorDash food, it's not going to be as good as if you went to the restaurant. That's
but hey, if you're going to go 45 minutes, if your thing is 45 minutes out of the way, like that's far. Okay, like
busy cities, shit can be like a 10-minute.
And you could
I'm a lazy
drive your
drive. I pay for convenience all the time. I don't leave my house. You know this. I don't go to
I order
food.
But like if you could drive that distance, then you can't. Nobody's telling you to go in and sit down at the restaurant. That's not where they make their money from. They make their money from the sale of food.
From you buying food.
Yes,
exactly.
If you're still selling the food and you can still go to that place and get the food, like you're not inconveniencing people, you're not spreading it, and you're still able to grab your food and go.
Here's the where Chosen is correct about it being a capitalist issue, because like you're right in the sense that the world must go on, right? We can't just shut everything down forever because the world has to go on.
That's realistic.
Where Chosen's right about it being a capitalism thing is this showed the world that for years people have been like, I can do my job from home. Please just let me fucking work remote. And businesses and managers and CEOs are like, no, you're not doing that. You're coming into work. They want you to come into work because they want to have more control over you so that they can make more money off of you, or they can at least force your hand and make sure that you're being productive or whatever else. They had a fear of unproductivity. They want to indoctrinate you in the company culture, retain you in whatever way they can. They want to have control over you because that's the capitalist mentality. But we've gone to show that there are dozens, hundreds of industries that can function completely remote and not be impacted whatsoever. There are some that obviously are more productive if you're there in person. There's some that you have to be there in person. You're not gonna have a doctor on Skype doing operating surgery with a 10 millisecond delay, like, oh shit, I moved a little too high and cut your heart.
So to counter, since we all work from home, is it not depressing as fuck? Is it not depressing as fuck sometimes? Is it not lonely as fuck sometimes?
It's not work's responsibility to make sure that
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Sitting in an office by yourself, not having the water cooler talk, not having the smoke break talk, not having the lunch talk, just sitting at a computer by yourself for 8 to 10 hours a day. Is it not lonely and depressing sometimes?
Sometimes, yes. But also the counterpoint to that is, what if you don't have smoke break talk?
I don't think you want to ask me on that one. I seclude myself in my room. So to me, no, because if I want to go, first of all, most of my friends are online to begin with. B, the people that I work with are in my house.
Okay.
So
in a sense, by people being in your house, you still have what someone call a work experience, as in you could leave your cubicle in a sense, which is your room or your office, and go talk to another person.
Could I? Yes. Okay. Do I? Not really, because
but you have the option.
Like they give me.
That's the thing. So having the choice, having the option to do it is huge, because when I notice, like, I don't leave my house. I used to seclude myself from my friends on purpose, like. But occasionally, like once a month, I would hit up my buddy. We'd go for a drive, get some food in this really cool place that's like 30 minutes away, take a scenic route back, listen to music, and catch up, right? Like that was my socialization. Every now and again, I'd go out to the bar with my friends, whatever. When COVID hit, I was like, it's fine. Don't leave the house. Cool. Now I have an excuse to not go to social functions. I can just stay inside and do what I always do. But I noticed it started to really fuck with my anxiety, and it was starting to make me more depressed, because now, and I was like, why is that? And I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, it's because my choice has been removed. Now I no longer have the option when I need to escape and recharge with social battery, like I need to go talk to other people and be around other people. Now I can't. And that made me feel trapped and isolated, and that affected my mental health. But once I recognized that that's what was happening, I was able to accept it, because like it's inevitable, and if it's something that's not changeable, then resisting it is only causing friction in my life.
I also feel like having people to talk to is not a bad thing. You are right in like the sense of like, yes, it can feel lonely from sometimes, but having the requirement to be in a building where you do not want to be all the time every day for 8 to 10 hours a day, like, yes, you can get up from your cubicle and go talk to people sometimes. That's not an all the time thing.
You hate your coworkers.
Oh, it's
what
all
if your coworker, What if you're in a toxic work environment
but,
and you just need the job you need?
Really, you're also a very friendly person. Like
this is what I'm saying, right? Like as a person,
Rilla chats up everybody.
Right, as a person who worked in a warehouse for 9 years, the loneliest I've ever felt at work was this job. I've worked in factories.
Yeah, because you're at home. If you're off the computer, you're not talking to anybody. You
That's
can't.
what I'm saying.
You can't step out and talk to anybody.
Stuff, and you're just like, I got.
But
the
I have
kids,
to work. Like I have to work as kids. Like you have, like if you're gonna say, oh, well, we can do all these jobs at home for 8 hours. That means people have to work in the time that they would normally be socializing. Your lunch break is on your time when you talk to Regina and you try to get your flirt on, or you talk to Carl and you hear about his kids and his family and his weekend. When you take that away from people who are indoctrinated in that system, it's not good.
That's why there shouldn't be a it shouldn't be a requirement for you to be. I feel like do what you gotta do. More jobs should allow the person to work from home if they want to, and then have the office job if they want to. But it would just make a lot more sense.
But then it goes into business, right? Like if you have more people who want to work, because a lot of businesses buy buildings for tax write-offs. That's what the building is there for. But if I don't need the building, I don't have the tax write-off, which means I pay more money in taxes, which hurts the business. So now I have less money because I was getting a tax break on this multi-million-dollar business for 100 employees. I no longer have the multi-million-dollar building that I'm paying for. I no longer have the lights that I'm paying for. I no longer have the water. I no longer have the chip man. I no longer have this millions of dollars in expenses that I can file on my taxes to present a profitable business. How do I get that back? So then
that rounds about back to capitalism. The fact that people are using tax write-offs just to make money and not actually have a substantial use for it outside of, I have this building, fill it with people.
Yes.
Let's make everybody in this building, or more than half of these people in this building, unhappy by forcing them to be here.
But that's just it.
Yeah. Just so I can get a tax write-off.
But the same people who you think are unhappy end up being Walmart greeters because they're bored out of their fucking mind and they're lonely.
So that's not
and that's not capitalism's fault. That's just the tribe. A workplace, yes, you might. I fucking hated Harris Teeter, right?
People though,
like I hated Harris Teeter. I hated Miss Winters, but you know what I love? The fucking people. The people were amazing. There were times when I was doing good in content creation and thought about going back to work at my old job just to hang around the fucking people because they were awesome.
And that would be your choice. Awesome. But again, having that requirement, if
like everybody's experience.
Like me, I've worked in public places. I've worked retail. I've worked in like buildings and stuff like that. Like personally, I don't want to fucking do that. And if I want to go out and be social, then yeah, you should have the choice to do that. There shouldn't be this requirement. We're circling. We went from COVID to capitalism,
right?
Real quick.
Today's letter is
again like this. Like think about the business. The reality of the situation is, even though we're thinking about the business side of it, it's only the top people who are affected by this. And the people who are paying for this $1 million house, the business is owned by a couple people.
Yeah.
So you telling me, oh, think about the business. The business don't care about me, so
the business cares about you by cutting you a check. That's the care, so you can live.
But
your
I'm
life.
doing as long as the work's getting done, then that's all that all that should matter.
That is all that matters, and there are a lot of businesses.
You
that
hired
are open,
me
like hybrid now. They're like, we have an office space that's open. If you guys want to come in for just to be here, you can. You
hired me to get this job done. I do the job gets done. I did my part. You owe me money. That's how this works. Not I give you the job, I give you my time, and I give you my literal physical person. I travel from point A to point B to then fund your building.
Yeah. Also, the overhead space, now that's why you can justify paying me less, because you need to pay for this overhead.
You're paying for the lights over me. You're paying for the computer. Right, you're paying for the internet and all this other stuff.
Then you're also not taking into account, now you have your 8-hour workday. Now you have your commute. Some people commute a couple hours each way. Like now your entire day is given to the business. You don't have much of a life outside of it. That's taxing. Also, the monetary cost, you're paying, first you get paid, then you pay taxes on that. Then you're paying taxes on the gas that you're buying to go to and from the business, so you're losing.
Which is like a $500,000 a month, by the way.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
Then
Continue.
you're paying taxes on every other purchase that you make, going back to the government. Like, by the time you look at how much money you're left with at the end of the day, after paying so much of it to the government, and then you reinvest your money and you make some money. Guess what? That's taxed too. You go to give some money as a gift tax. There's gift tax.
But isn't all these
businesses get around paying what they should because of these tax write-offs, because of these tax write-offs?
What that does, and we have to realize, and this was in a cool podcast I watched on cryptocurrency of why governments hate crypto, is because the purchasing power of a currency being controlled by a government gives them control over you. It gives them control over your property rights. And if you have control over your property rights, because you have full control over your currency and nobody can adjust that, it scares governments, because now you're in control of your investments.
Because the government is a system that's been built a certain way. So anything that could disrupt the system, it's scary.
Anything that could disrupt the system, but the only people affected truly by that are the people in power. The people in power are affected. Like if cryptocurrency becomes the next big thing, governments don't have as much power as they used to, and because they don't, they try and make it more restricted. Again, this whole thing about like the tax write-offs and building and payoffs and stuff like that is the sheer fact that because we were supposed to play fucking multiverses. Oh shit.
Brew just finished the tutorial, so we shouldn't keep him waiting.
Okay.
Oh, there's a tutorial. Oh, hold up, let me boot up real quick. Y'all keep talking.
You're trolling. Looks like
I did know. I never played, but the whole thing about like the business. Again, if I get fired from a job, the business keeps running whether they get a tax write-off or not. Because if I don't do the job, they're still going to find somebody. The fact that they get tax write-offs because they're putting me in a place that I don't want to be is not that's not going to garner sympathy for a company that doesn't care about its employees. Like,
well, what about you? You're a business now. How do you view it? Because my view of business changed a lot once I started doing this. Like, I started to understand it more. I could tell the difference of the employee mind frame and the business owner mind frame, because I was responsible.
I feel like you should take care of your employees, and again, as long as the product is done, or whatever it is that you've hired that person for, it's done. That's what makes you your money. If you're looking for other means of like, because sorry, I'm multitasking here. If you're looking for other means to just, because essentially businesses take out these loans, or not these loans, take out for these buildings and stuff like that to gain more money, and then from that point it's just money. That's it. That's all that matters. And because of that, I can't stay, like, if as a business person, or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to worry about my employee more than anything else. Because if I can keep this employee who does the job, then there's consistency.
But shouldn't the number one priority of a business, if you want to worry about your employee, wouldn't that be to worry about making profit? Because without profit,
to then pay my employee, exactly. And as long as they do what they need to,
be making profit to then take care of your employee.
But how does getting this tax write-off so that I fill my pockets helping my employee?
Let's say,
because that's what a lot of businesses are doing. They're putting it in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's say, for example, if you owed $1 million in taxes at the end of the year, but there's hey, if you buy a $2 million building, you get a credit and you're good. Not like physically come up with $2 million, but just get a way to get a $2 million business, and we'll get rid of this $1 million tax debt that you have right now, because guess what? You don't have $1 million to pay. And if you don't have $1 million to pay, company goes belly up, goes bankrupt, and then the employees that you cherish so much don't have a job. Would you not do what was required to get this tax write-off because you don't have the $1 million to pay?
The building give me $1 million tax write-off. Or how does that help
work?
me?
The same way when like companies and businesses buy decrepit buildings and they write them off in taxes, and because they count it as a loss that their business took.
I can play this tutorial.
The system. I'm gonna hop over into my Discord just to help Bird get set up and add him as a friend. You run through the tutorial real quick, Chosen, and just
I don't have to. The only reason to run through the tutorial is to get Wonder Woman, and I don't plan on playing.
Wow. Wow. Well, that doesn't sound sexist at all.
I'll see you
I mean,
guys
I've
over
got
there.
other women characters. Don't do this, Rilla. Don't do this.
On that note,
Don't you try and set me up.
All right, okay,
This man said, oh, really? Tee him up real quick.
Right, all right, let's go play video games. Good talk, though. I enjoyed this. This was fun.
Yeah, we gotta do this again.
Yeah, for sure. All right, then, my dude. See you over there in a second.
Peace, Tommy.
All right. Wait, how do I? There we go. The chat, that got good, didn't it? That was good. That was good.